Hi, this is Peter. I just wanted to show you something that I came up with the other day, and it was just out of the blue. It was about how to use the Qwas rail dogs, which are normally used, most people use with MFT, but how to use them to create a way of doing repetitive angles. Any angle you want. If you can draw a line on a board, you can set your rails so that you're going to be doing that and be able to do that parallel on the same size board indefinitely. Then he went further and said, okay, what's the practical purpose of this, or usage of this rather? And stair stringers. It's nothing but a whole bunch of repetitive angles where you've got a tread and you've got a riser. So I want to quickly run through and just show you what I came up with for those people who use a circular saw and are happy doing that, making your lines, cutting. Good for you. I'm glad you can do it that way. I can do it well enough that way, but sometimes there are better ways or cleaner ways, because I've seen all too many carpenters go here in this intersection and make nice overcuts, and it just kind of bothers me because it weakens it. So in essence, what you're going to do is you're going to slide your rail up along your cut line. You're going to adjust the dogs to touch the edges of your piece of wood so it's trapped. I can rotate it this way, I cannot rotate it this way. So what I'll be able to do is make this cut, slide it to my next mark, make that cut, slide it to the next one. Okay? And then we're going to come back and set up the saw to do it the opposite way. Now, the cuts we're going to make first actually are the plunge cuts. And if you go ahead and set up your saw to plunge cut, please use the stop. This is a safety device. In our case, it's also going to be a positioning device because it's going to make sure that our cuts can't go too far this way. And the way to set it up is that the Festool saws actually have on their case two marks, here and here. Mine are blackened with a little bit of paint, to show you the limit of the cut if the blade's at cutting at full depth, which is the recommended, sitting on a rail. So we're going to be cutting that way. The actual housing, the little mark doesn't go all the way down to the base. So in order to set up the cut, what I do is, well, first of all, get that behind me, is I just take any block of wood, put it up against my cut line, and when I slide the saw backwards or forwards when we do it the opposite way, and the mark intersects with that little block of wood, we know that that's where we need to set our limit stop. Okay? Took a whole lot more time to explain than to do, and I apologize for that. I have a tendency to be that way. I'm going to put on some safety glasses. We're going to make a few of these cuts. Okay, so here we get ready to do the first cut. I've got my safety glasses on, and I've got the speed set to maximum, and let me make sure that the dust collector is set to maximum. take your time plunging. Okay, I'm back. I have rotated the stringer around. If you recall from just a few minutes ago, we had marked only one area to cut out. That was on to my right. Now it is to my left. We need to take the rail and adjust it to the cut line, to the angle, and adjust the rail dogs. I've done that. I've gone ahead and put this in place and adjusted the front limit stop so that we're not going to cut too far. As we go and make our cuts, we don't have any lines now that we need to worry about. That was a pattern. All we have to do is slide and line up the splinter strip with the very end of that cut, and we'll be good. And they're all going to be the same. But what I did learn is that because the TS cuts so well, or at least on thinner material, I haven't done it on full thickness, we need to start from the other end. You want, I'm going to call the board that's forward the leading edge, and the other the trailing edge. The trailing edge has to be riding on something that hasn't been cut. If I go in this direction, make this cut, this cut, this cut, this cut, there's a chance that these pieces are going to fall out and then I won't have anything to register it on. Is it possible to hold it by hand? Yes, I did that yesterday, but if I just change procedure a little bit, it'll make it a lot safer. So let me go ahead and set up to make the first cut and go from there. Okay, let's see how we did. Alright, not too bad. Okay, so here we have our finished cuts. I'm just going to knock the blocks out for illustration purposes. Of course, if you were going to be doing this in the field and actually cutting into the intersections with either a handsaw or a jigsaw, you wouldn't do that. You'd use those kerfs, but just wanted to show you how much is left to be cut out. Of course, it'll be less with the Ts55 than the Ts55, but still, this isn't that bad. Hope you enjoyed at least thinking about this.